Oh my God, y'all. I got let go from my job. Yes, my good paying job. So now, not only am I homeless, like I said in my last video, I am also jobless. What? And yet somehow I am still living my best life. My name's Laria Jones. I am a over 40 woman just navigating life as an empty nester and a woman trying to deal with perimenopause. I, until recently, was an account director for a software consulting firm. I have spent most of my career as a project manager, but more than that, I am a productivity and personal development addict. And I love coming here to share my journey, things that I'm trying, things that are, working well, things that are not working well in the event that you can relate. And today I am sharing an update, a life update, a big life update about getting let go from my job, what had happened, what I'm gonna do about it, but also just, what's been going on with me in October. We'll review my October goals and then we'll talk about November goals as well. So if you want to get all up in my business, then lock in, sis. Let's go for a ride. All right, I got my notes right here on my iPad because I got a lot to share today, but we're going to talk about probably why you clicked on this video in the first place, because sis lost her job. What? The remote work queen? What? I I don't even know where to start with this story. I'm going to say this. You guys, if you followed me for more than 5 years, I've worked for this company for over 6 years, and it's always been remote. So I don't want you thinking that I got let go because I'm remote or because I was doing something crazy. That is not the case. I have been working remotely for this company for 6 years, since 2018, and I have always worked and traveled with this company. It has never once been an issue, literally never been an issue, and has nothing to do with why I got let go. I want to say that for the record. Okay, so that has nothing to do with why I got let go. But why did I? So what had happened? I'm going to take you back. So sometime last year, things changed at the company. Really, the culture shifted, leadership shifted, and culture shifted. The company that I worked for actually got investment from a VC firm. And a lot of times, if you know anything about VC, getting VC investment is huge for business owners. For small business owners to scale and to grow and to fundraise, that is huge. But the downside a lot of times of getting VC investment is that their main focus is return on investment. And a lot of times they are considered culture killers, because when VC firms come in, very often the culture of an organization shifts, and not in the best way. Now, I do understand that culture changes at organizations all the time. I get it. So I'm not mad about the culture changing, but it was a glaring reminder that I no longer fit in. I no longer felt like I fit in at the organization. And it had been my kind of strategy previously in my career to, find another job, land another job every 3 years or so. And so I was there actually much longer than I expected to be. I expected to be there for 3 years, 4 years tops. 4 years tops, to be honest with you. Because one of the ways I have continued to grow my salary and my earnings year over year is by leaving and going to different organizations. And so if we go with that method, I started working there in 2018. In 2021, 2022, I should have been like, all right, deuces, I'm out. The challenge for me, the reason why I was still there is I'm gonna be honest with you, I got comfortable. Like, I work for a company where I'm respected. They listen to me. They leave me alone. I get to pretty much, organize my schedule in the best way for me, as long as I am serving my clients. So I had a job that paid me very, very well, that, was very comfortable for me to do and afforded me the ability to travel wherever I wanted to. I couldn't move out of the country, but I could leave the country for weeks at a time, and nobody really batted an eye, at least not to my face. So I got very comfortable there. So I started being unhappy. I got really unhappy at the end of 2024. But I'm not the type of person that makes rash decisions, especially as it relates to my livelihood. Like, I'm just not going to make a rash decision. And so I was pretty unhappy late last year. I actually found a text that I sent to one of my friends in October of last year that said, I wake up every day wanting to quit. So I was actually pretty unhappy. But I was trying to decide, like, what do I want to do, right? Do I want to stay here? Do I want to leave? What is my move? That was my thinking, because again, I have a pretty cushy job. So do I want to suck it up and just, ride the wave or what? So that's where I was mentally. I said at the beginning of January that I was going to quit at the end of January. I was like, when I come back from New Zealand, I'm quitting. I don't even have another job. Doesn't matter. I'm going to quit because for me, it's just not worth it to be unhappy. Nothing is worth it to me to be unhappy. Life is just too short for that. And so I was like, I'm going to quit when I get back. And while I was on the trip in New Zealand, I was talking to my friends about this. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to quit when I get back. And they were like, do you have another job? I was like, no, not yet, but I can get another job, or I can always find ways to make money. I truly believe that. When I got back, I decided not to quit. Here's why. My thinking was, I need to be paid to leave. If I quit, I get nothing. If I quit, I get nothing. When I start to see things really, really shift, I was like, things are really changing. The economy is changing, one. So we started to see a shift in the economy where companies just weren't spending money on software. And so I saw the writing on the wall. Sales were starting to decline, and I didn't see them picking up until 2025, at least past the election, at the very least getting past the election. Same thing I've been saying about the job market, right? And then the shift in culture. So the culture changing made me unhappy, but the economy changing and the landscape for the business changing made me feel like I was going to get let go anyway, for a few reasons. One, our sales pipeline just wasn't very strong. I had not been, I think by March or April, I had not been in one sales call the whole year. And I'm usually on multiple sales calls. So the role that I'm in, we help close deals basically. And I hadn't been in any sales calls. So I'm like, what is happening here? So that's one. Two, the role that I was in is one of the most expensive roles at the company. It's not highly billable. We work in consulting. If you've ever worked in consulting, they live and die by the billable hour, right? So they make money when we bill clients for our time. And the role is not a highly billable role. It's really kind of an oversight role and partially a sales role. So if we're not doing any sales and I'm not billing, I am just a cost center. I am just costing money. And so the role that I was in, there's 4 of us in that role. It's a cost center. And I am one of the highest paid people in that role. So it makes sense to let me go. So I was like, I see the writing on the wall. They're going to let one of us go and it's going to be me. I was like, at the end of, I also failed to mention that in February, they let go of my boss. And I was like, if they let him go, they're definitely going to let me go. Actually, I told him at the beginning of February that they were going to let us both go. I thought they would let me go first, but they let him go first. And then I recently got let go. I'm surprised I lasted this long. All that to say, I wanted to quit. But my decision was, I'm not going anywhere. They're going to have to push me out and pay me to go. That's how I felt about it. So yeah, I got let go from my job and I'm not even mad about it. Not even mad about it. I have so much more space, brain space and time to do the things that are important to me. I woke up the next day and got to plan my day out exactly the way I wanted to and not feel guilty about, checking in for work or being on Teams or being available for calls or whatever. I didn't have that type of interruption, and not that work is like an interruption to my day. When I like my job, I'm all in. But I was, like I said, I was unhappy, and I've been unhappy since October. So that's almost a year of being unhappy, right? That's pretty much a year of being unhappy. And so, yeah, I woke up the next day feeling amazing. And it's so cool because a lot of my coworkers reached out to me and said really, really nice things, kind things about, working with me and what they've learned from me. And they were concerned. And I was like, you ain't got to be concerned, baby. I'm good. And then even some of my clients reached out to check on me as well, which was really nice. That was really, really, really nice. I made some really great friends at work. Some of them I'm still really cool with. Actually, I'm going to one coworker's wedding actually two coworkers, two of my ex-coworkers, I'm going to their weddings next year. So I'm really excited about that. I don't have anything against the company that I worked for at this point. I'm happy to not work there, but I'm also happy that I got to work there as well. I got in at a very early stage when they were kind of in startup mode, and I got to help build this business. And I'm happy that I got to be a part of that. And the iteration of the company when I got there was something I was very proud of because it was highly diverse and we were very scrappy and everybody kind of did their part and got things done. And so that iteration of the company I love and I still appreciate to this day. So no regrets, absolutely no regrets. But let me tell you why I'm comfortable and okay. Like, why am I like, girl, I'm good? It's not just because I have a sunny and optimistic disposition. I also happen to be decently strategic as well. Okay. So I know that I am generally a person, I'll say this. One of the things I love about myself is that I have a very solidly foundational belief that things will work out. I really believe that. And whether it works out in the next month, week, year, 5 years, I know that things will work out. Even if it gets shitty for a little while, I know that that won't last. Trouble don't last always. I believe that fundamentally with everything in me. A, things will work out, and B, until they do, I am equipped to cope with whatever happens. I believe that. So that's the number one reason why I am comfortable and okay. So that's one. The second reason is I happen to also be thoughtful about stuff like this. So I know that a lot of people tend to feel stuck in their job because they've got to pay for a house and they got to, pay for the cars and things like that. I think one of the reasons why for me this is not an issue is because I'm not really attached to anything. If I had to sell my car, buy a car, I don't even want that car, right? We already talked about the fact that I am essentially homeless. I own a house, but someone else lives there, right? Someone else is paying that mortgage. And I am staying between this property, which is a property my mother owns that we have partnered on and put on Airbnb. I actually have a guest checking in tomorrow, so I got to get out of here. But I'm staying between here, my mom's house, and I'm traveling. And most of the travel that I've done the second half of this year is travel that I did not pay for. So I am good because I'm not necessarily tied to or attached to anything. So that's one. I think if I still had my big house in Kennesaw, Georgia, if I still had my big house outside of Atlanta, if I had a Mercedes, not knocking anybody that has a big house and drives nice cars, not saying that at all. But I think if I had that, there would be more angst because I would be thinking about how to keep those things. But I'm not tied to anything. So I don't care about having to keep anything. Child, I'll let go of this Honda Civic in a heartbeat. Actually, I wanted to sell this Honda Civic 6 months ago. If I had my ruthers, I wouldn't own a car. Like ideally, I could live somewhere where I can walk everywhere. I'm just not that tied to things. So that's one thing. So the other thing is, and I talk about this in a video about never feeling stuck. I made a video about how to never feel stuck in any situation. You guys can watch that video as well. But one of the things that I did a long time ago was I sat down and I thought about if I lost my job today, based on the other things I have going on and my savings, how long could I take care of myself? How long could I sustain myself? And I don't mean like still, buying clothes and paying for subscription boxes and stuff like that. I mean like my core expenses. Like what are the things that are core to managing my life? The things I absolutely have to pay for. And how long would I be able to pay for those things based on what I have going on right now? That means money in the bank, side hustles and all that kind of stuff. So how long would I be able to take care of myself? Having that knowledge actually is very empowering. It helps you understand where you stand from a point of if things go south, I will be okay for this long. I'm going to tell you something. Knowing that is powerful. If you don't have that information, please, again, go watch the video that I did about how to never feel stuck, because I actually walk through how to, plan this out and figure this out and what you can do to get to that point. Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is I have had side hustles for a long time. I'm a side hustler. I stay with a side hustle. I got let go from a job years ago. and it was the only job I had. And I don't even know when this was. This was like 2009. This was a long time ago. I think it was 2009. This sounds right. I got let go from a job a long time ago. And I was like, I will never again rely solely on one form of income. Never again. Never again in my life will I ever solely rely on my job for my source of income, because they can let you go at any time. People love to think jobs equal stability. I don't think that's true. I think it equals predictability, but not necessarily stability, because someone in a room who does not know you, who does not know your situation, can fire you and let you go without any consideration for the things that you got going on. And that seems unstable to me. And it's all based on what the company has going on, right? To me, that sounds unstable. And so for me, having a W-2 job that pays well is wonderful and great. But even then, I'm going to have a side hustle. And maybe I'll do a video on side hustles. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I feel like this is a time where I can take sort of it's not really a career sabbatical, because it's not like I'm not working. But maybe let's call it a corporate sabbatical. I think this is a good time for me to take a bit of a corporate sabbatical and not be on someone else's time or dime, and just really lean into and let myself have the space to be as creative as I want, to do a lot of the things that have been on my someday list. I'm going to enjoy this time. I'm going to take, I don't know how much time it's going to be. I don't know if this is going to be a forever thing. I don't know if this will be a few months. I don't know if January I'm going to wake up and be like, oh, child, I need a job now. I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear, to be honest with you. Right now, I don't want to work for anybody. In this moment, I don't want to work for anyone. Now, there are some days where I'm like, ooh, but I need health insurance. Here's the thing. I can get health insurance. I just need to make sure that I make enough money to get health insurance for me and my daughter. My daughter is only 21, and so she is still eligible to be on my health insurance. But as a student of an unemployed person, she can probably qualify for Medicaid or something like that. So that's something I'm looking into. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I lost my job and I'm still good. I'm still chilling, y'all. Don't worry about me. I am doing good. I'm actually doing great, to be honest with you. I'm honestly having the time of my life. Getting the chance to do a lot of the things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, like this, literally this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been wanting to start a newsletter for 3 years. I finally started my weekly newsletter. I'm excited about having the brain space and the time to focus on the things that have just been bubbling in my head and in my heart, and being able to put those out into the universe. So yeah, that's that on the job front. Let me give you an update on my living situation. So in last month's life update, I talked about being homeless and being tired of being homeless. I am still very tired of living out of suitcases. Oh my God, I almost flipped out the other day. I literally couldn't find my underwear. I could not find them. Anyway, I'm tired. So I have made a decision. The Airbnb is actually booked between now to mid-November. I am going to be traveling mid-November. I come back, I think right before Thanksgiving. And so we don't really have any bookings for December. FSU is not having the best season, and FAMU's season's just fine. So we don't have a whole lot of people coming to the city. And so I think I am going to go ahead and, I know we've made a decision. God, I'm such a Libra. I am going to block off the Airbnb from late November all the way to late January, and I'm going to stay here. I think it is so important that I am in one place for 60 days so that I can get really solid on some routines, not just for my health and fitness, but for my mental health and also for my businesses. We're at a crucial time coming to the end of the year, trying to wrap up things and then trying to start the year. This is going to be super critical. And so I'm going to be in this Airbnb, in this lovely Airbnb that I decorated, that I love, for late November all the way through late January. And then in January, I am going to Vietnam for Tet, which is Lunar New Year in Vietnam. And I am going to stay in Vietnam for 1 to 2 months. So that is my plan through March. Yeah, so that is my plan through Q1. I'm either going to stay in Vietnam for 2 months or stay in Vietnam for 1 month and then just travel in Asia for another month. So Q1 is figured out. I've made a decision. We're good. And I'm very, very excited about it. I'm super excited about it. So that is what I've decided to do. If you're just coming into this conversation, you're like, what do you mean you're homeless? Check out my October life update so you can get plugged into how your girl is homeless. Y'all know what I just thought about? I sound like a catch. Like, you wait till I go on my first date with a guy and he's like, oh, where do you live? And I'm like, oh, nowhere, I'm homeless. What do you do for work? Oh, I got let go from my job. I should just put it on my dating profile and see who filters through all of that craziness and still thinks I'm a catch. Like, homeless and unemployed. Okay, girl, I'm intrigued. Let's go out for drinks. I would be single forever. Anyway, let's review these October goals, shall we? Let me pull my iPad over here so I don't miss anything. Goals for October. I shared with you in my October life update what my goals were for October. Here's what I hit. Here's what I missed. I said that I was going to contribute $2,300 to my Roth IRA. In light of recent situations, I did not do that. I am still planning to contribute to the IRA. It's just going to be a matter of I need to close another contract to cover the cost of that. That is kind of how I'm looking at it. So that is what I'm working on. I said I was going to crush the last 5 weeks of my fitness challenge. No, sis, we didn't do that. I didn't do horrible, but I didn't crush it either. I didn't crush it. This week I am crushing it though. So maybe we change that to crush the last 2 weeks, because this is week 9 and next week is week 10. So I did not crush the last 5 weeks, but these next 2 weeks are going to be solid. Make a determination on HRT and weight loss medications. So I have not made a determination on HRT. I am not going to do the weight loss medications, the doctor prescribed weight loss medications. HRT, I don't know yet because I have to go get tests done. But I wanted to make that decision by the end of October. The reason why I said that is because I was seeing a doctor about this in October. Unfortunately, of course, you know how it is. You go to a doctor's visit and that just equals test panels and more visits. So I got to go get some tests and then I can make that decision. Find a new therapist. I have not done that. And I need to. I really need to. I need to really prioritize this for November. I still have, as of the recording of this video, I still have a few days left in October. So I still have time to do this. I'll update in the comments when I post this if I get around to it. Launched the new and improved Quick Commuting Academy. That happened. As of this recording of this video, I'm recording this a little bit early. I am telling you it's happened because we just finished creating the community and we will be opening it and letting our existing community members in starting next week. So by the time I post this, it will have been launched. Send out 20 pitches. Y'all, I ain't send out nail pitch. Nail. Actually, no, that's not true. That is not true. I did pitch 2 brand partnerships, but I didn't just send out an email pitch. These were actually 3. And I got picked for 1. These were posted. These were things that you can go and apply for. So there's a website. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you are trying to be a creator, there's websites that will post brand partnerships and you can apply for them. A lot of times, though, they lowball you, but sometimes they're good rates. So I applied for an always discreet ad, and I got that. You feel free to check out my Instagram. I posted that one. I applied for another one. I can't remember what it was. Suave. It was an ad with Suave. I didn't get that. And I applied for a press trip to Jordan with Black Travel Alliance, and I did not get selected for that. But I applied. So not 20. 3. I did 3. Learning streamline marketing. I have been working on this. This is something I have been learning. And this was really about how to automate things like mini chat beyond just the, comment link, and I'll send you the link. I think mini chat has a lot of features that are just underutilized. And so I actually went to their conference earlier this month as well and watched some more videos. So I've been learning that. Read 2 books. Yes, 2 books were read. I finished The New Menopause, and I also finished The Philosophy of Money. The Psychology of Money. So I finished both of those books. The New Menopause book, I did an audio, wish I had not. It's too clinical to listen to the audio. And The Psychology of Money was actually pretty good and easy to listen to, very straightforward. And it was interesting. Shoot pool 4 times. I'm so glad that I didn't say shoot pool every week. I said 4 times. Yes, this happened. My pool game is getting a little bit better. I watch YouTube videos on how to shoot pool. I really want to get good at shooting pool. So did that. Spend face-to-face time with 5 friends. I spent face-to-face time with a lot of friends. So I got to go to Tulsa and hang out with my friends there. And then, of course, FAMU homecoming, I got to spend a lot of time with a lot of friends. So I played myself setting this as a goal because, of course I was going to hit this goal this month. But I did get to spend some one-on-one FaceTime with a few friends as well. Like I went to bar class with my friend Atira here in Tallahassee. I did a candle making class with my friend Darcy in Tulsa. I also, spent the whole day with my friend Anissa in Tulsa, just walking around, talking, going out to eat and just having a good time together. And I got to hang out and spend a whole Sunday with my friend Dominic in Tulsa. He let me stay at his house. So we just got to chill and vibe. I don't have any video footage of that because for some reason, Dominic and I literally never take pictures together. Like we just always just chill and enjoy each other's company. And then I got to go to this lovely intimate dinner at an art gallery in Tulsa. So I got to spend face-to-face time with a lot of people. Oh, and I hosted a brunch. And my girlfriends came through. Yeah, we had a good time. Oh, and I met another friend for coffee in Tulsa. I was very, very intentional about meeting with people in Tulsa and sitting down and just chatting and talking. Spend time with a family member. And I said the family member cannot be my mom or my dad or my brother. It had to be like a cousin. And the cool thing is I got to do this because my little cousin, my first cousin's daughter, so I guess she would be my second cousin. I don't know. Anyway, my little cousin threw a Halloween party earlier this month. And so I went to her house, went to her Halloween party, and her mama was there cutting up. We had a good time though. And it's so cool to see her as an adult, living her adult life in her cute apartment. We had a good time. She throws a good party. I want to share something that I'm proud of for October. Y'all, I grew the Quit Commuting Instagram account to 10,000 followers this month. Let me tell you something. Here, even better, it happened in 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks ago, the Quit Commuting account had 3,000, just at 4,000 followers. And in 2 to 3 weeks, it's over 10,000. What? Look what happens when I actually have time to post content and market my business. Crazy. And of course, sales have increased because of that. So that is another thing that being unemployed has gotten me, the ability to actually focus on growing my business for real. Super proud of that. So let's get into November because Lord, I've been talking for a long time. I'm going to get into some of the things I'm excited about for November and then what my goals are for November. And feel free if you want to come by and check on my goals. I actually share my goals every week in my newsletter. If you ever want to sign up for the newsletter, you can do that. The link is in the description box and up here as well. I love the newsletter. The newsletter is fun. I like it a lot. I like writing the newsletter. So yeah, join the newsletter. Hang out with me every week. But if you want to hold me accountable, feel free. You know what I love? I love when people inbox me on Instagram to ask me about stuff that I said here on YouTube. So feel free to check in with me and feel free to drop your goals in the comments as well. I might check in on you and be like, did you do it? But did you do it? Okay. Here's a couple things I'm excited about in November. One, I got this stuff called Cello Fit. I mentioned this in the video where I talked about the things that my nutritionist suggested that I do to get fit. I think it was like she told us to focus on two things, but I also shared some of the other things that I was working on as well. So you can check that video out here if you want to after this video, though. Wait till after this video. So I got the Cello Fit, and it's basically a supplement that is supposed to work with your body to help make all the things that we're doing as over 40 women more effective. Because I don't know about you guys, but I know I feel like I'm doing a lot of the right things. Like I'm eating well, I'm sleeping, I'm working out, I'm drinking water, but like I'm not really seeing the changes happening fast enough. I had to add that caveat. I'm not saying the changes happen fast enough. The changes are happening, but they're happening very slowly. And if I just step outside of the box, 2 or 3 times in a week, like it all goes to hell. So I got this Cello Fit stuff, like literally got it today was my first day taking it. So I'm excited to see how that works out. I'm excited. I'm also excited about going back to South Africa. So one of my consulting clients is sending me to South Africa for a week or two because there's a conference there that her business needs a representative of. No, that's not how you say that. There is a conference there and her business needs to be represented at this conference. And as a fractional COO, she can send a C-suite level executive from her organization to this conference to network and to help, expand her business's footprint. And so I'm going to Johannesburg, South Africa for 2 weeks in November for free. Her business isn't even paying for it. What's funny is like the people that are running the conference are covering it, which is boss. That is boss. I love South Africa. I go every year. Have I been this year? Crazy enough, I haven't. I don't think I've been this year. So this worked out. This works out perfectly. So very excited to go back to South Africa. I spend a lot of time in Cape Town and don't spend as much time in Joburg, but I love Joburg. Joburg is a vibe. Josie is a vibe. And I have friends that live there and actually have a friend from Tulsa Remote who will be there. And also some other Tulsa Remote people will be there as well at the same time I'm there. So very excited about that. And I'm excited about Thanksgiving. November means Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday for a few reasons. One, it's not about gifting. I feel like people love Christmas, but as you get older and become an adult, like you see how a lot of people, I don't know, Christmas feels very much like, what have you done for me? What did you give me? You spent this much money and I spent this much money. I don't really like Christmas for those reasons. I love buying people gifts. I think I'm a very good gift giver for the most part, but I don't necessarily like things a lot. So I don't need Christmas. I don't like a lot. Like, first, where am I going to put it? I'm homeless. Where am I going to put this stuff? Thanksgiving I like because I love cooking. I love to cook. And everybody's just happier. I don't know. It just feels more like family. And especially in a Black family, it feels like this is the time to pass down our traditions and our recipes, which is such a strong part of Black culture. Recipes and cooking and food is it's such a strong part of Black culture. And I would also contend that soul food is one of the very few true American cuisines. And so for those reasons, like I love Thanksgiving because this is, to me, it's like, it's history. It's food, it's love, and it's history. And so for me, Thanksgiving doesn't even mean what it originally meant. Like for me, Thanksgiving is, again, it's like a family reunion and a time to pass down huge parts of our history and our culture to the next generation. Plus, I always make the best dressing and I always win the sweet potato pie contest in my family because I make really good sweet potato pies. I love Thanksgiving. Ooh, y'all, I've been talking for forever. Okay, let me get y'all these November goals so I can get you out of here. Finance. I want to direct a portion of my Roth IRA to an EFT. So when I left my job, and maybe I'll do a video on like what to do with your 401k and your severance pay. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in finding out about and me doing a talk on. But you can leave your 401k where it is. I used to work in 401ks. This is the only reason I know this. You can leave your 401k where it is in some cases. Some plans require you to get it out. So you can roll it over to another 401k or you can roll it over to an IRA. Because I am not working anywhere else, I chose to roll mine over to a Roth IRA. And the majority of that is invested in a target fund, a target retirement fund. And I don't want to go into the detail of what that means, but if that's something you're curious about, I can do a whole video talking about that. Okay. A portion of it, a very small portion of it, is sitting in cash right now, though. And because I want to direct that to some EFTs. EFTs are electronic funds. No. What does EFT stand for? Hold on. I was about to say electronic funds transfer. That ain't. And investing. Electronic funds transfer is what came up. Let me say investing. Exchange traded funds. EFTs are exchange traded funds. And the best way I can describe this is they are, if you invest in an EFT, it is basically you investing in multiple stocks at once. I hope that makes sense. So instead of saying, I'm going to invest in Bank of America or I'm going to invest in NVIDIA, I can say, I want to invest in a fund that invests in a lot of technology companies or a fund that invests in a lot of real estate companies. And so I want to direct a portion of my IRA to some EFTs, but I need to figure out which EFT I want to invest in. So that's what I'm going to spend some time doing in November. That's my finance goal. For those of you who are new here, I plan and set goals in 6 categories. Those categories are finance, health, career or business, development, this personal development and learning, lifestyle, that's joy and fun, and relationships, which does not have to be romantic. It's also your friendships, connections, and relationships with family. So those are the 6 categories that I always plan in. All right, so my finance goal is to direct a portion of my Roth IRA to 1 or 2 EFTs. My health goal is to take the Cello Fit daily and complete my Fit Formula checklist every day. My Fit Formula checklist is basically all the things that my nutrition coach told me to do. I think I talked about it in this video about the 2 things that she told us to do. I think I talked about it in the video where I summarized our interview. So I'm going to check the list of my Fit Formula every single day for health and business. I actually have career or business. I'm going to say business because I don't work anywhere. I work for myself now. I actually have 3 goals now. My general rule is only to have 2 goals per category for the month because I don't want to stretch myself. 6 is already a lot, right? 6 categories is already a lot. But in this case, I got some stuff I got to get done. So for one business goal is to develop a marketing strategy for our 2025 launch. Quick Commuting is launching something special and exciting in January. And so I want to develop the marketing strategy for it in November so that we can do all of the promos, videos, assets in December. And then I also want to create a digital product for my personal brand. So if you might have heard me mention productivity at the beginning of this video, and you see that I'm talking about planning and how I plan. And at the end of every year, I do a how to plan your year guide. And those are usually pretty popular. And so I want to actually do some digital products that help people with planning and goal setting and tracking and things like that. So I'm going to come up with, design a very straightforward and easy digital product to start with in November. And then the other piece is for my rental business, my real estate business, I need to move my rental expenses to a business account because right now, the mortgage for my rental property is coming out of my personal checking account. And so is the cost for lawn care and all those kind of things. Now, the income is also going into my personal account. So I need to just move all of that into a business account and make this officially a business as well. For my development goal, I want to finish this pitching course that I bought. I bought a course on how to pitch as a content creator. I want to finish that. My lifestyle goal is to read 2 books, to also plan Christmas photos for me and my daughter. I started taking Christmas photos maybe 5 or 6 years ago. For a very long time, I didn't think that my daughter and I could take Christmas photos because we weren't a family. Like in my mind, Christmas photos were for families with like a husband and kids. I don't know where that came from, guys. But years ago, I posted on Instagram our very first Christmas photo, and I posted the story, and I was like, we are a family. Me and her, we are also a family. And I promised that we would do Christmas photos every year from then on. And so I need to plan our Christmas photos for this year. I have this vision for how I want them to be. So I need to figure that out. And then for lifestyle, this is also lifestyle, I need to go to an event every week that I'm in my city. One of the things I constantly complain about is that I feel very lonely when I'm in Tallahassee. I don't have a lot of, like, I know a lot of people here, but I don't have a lot of relationships here. And part of it is because I'm always in the house when I'm here. So I am going to get out of the house anytime I'm in my city for a week. I am going to get out and do an event this week. I'm actually even starting in October. This week, I'm going to an FSU soccer game. I'm going to take my daughter to an FSU soccer game this week. And then I actually did not write down any goals for relationships for November. I mean, I'm going to see my family because Thanksgiving is coming up. I'm going to see my friends. I will have just seen a whole bunch of friends because of FAMU homecoming. And I'm not that interested in hopping on the dating apps right now. So I don't have a relationships goal for November. Maybe I need to work on my relationship with God. Maybe that's a relationship I will work on in November. We'll see. So that's it. Those are my goals for November. Question for you guys. If you guys can help me plan this out, I am trying to decide for when am I going to do my plan your year content. Historically, I've done it in December, but I feel like people are burned out by December and you're not necessarily thinking about planning. You're thinking about planning, but you're not really ready to start planning anything yet. And so I'm wondering if I should start doing my plan your year content in December or January. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I honestly think a lot of my content for November will probably be focused on getting my routines solid, or maybe I'll do that in January. Maybe I'll do the planning stuff in December and do routine stuff in January. I don't know. Again, let me know. Let me know what you think. All right, that's it. That is my life update for November. I know that was a bit of a roller coaster, but thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for hanging out with me. For the people that send me messages and leave comments saying that you love the energy and that I am so transparent and that you love that this is so relatable, I really appreciate you saying that. Like, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I don't think you guys realize how much people who come on here and share their life stories or share their knowledge or their information, how much we appreciate hearing that it was helpful and that somebody learned something or was inspired or could relate or felt like they weren't alone or whatever. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for watching. And also, if you are wondering how the hell I just got let go from my job and I am able to sit here and smile and laugh, I highly recommend you go watch that video about how to never feel stuck. And have a great November, everybody. Bye.